So just a few things to summarize, and a few parting words for folks who are going out to do this. Um, the first thing is, when I first began this series of talks, I suggested that your job is not the keystrokes. It's really managing the room and helping users get independent. I'm now going to go back and tell you the next part of that. You must get the keystrokes right. You've got to get very comfortable with this technology. You need to know exactly how to do everything in the game, and you need to be able to troubleshoot. Now, that doesn't mean you need to know everything about SAP and everything about the simulation. But in the beginning, when you first start training, if you don't feel pretty confident and pretty comfortable, your discomfort will reflect to the audience. So my suggestion is this. In Train the Trainer, in your learning how to run ERPsim, you will not master this. You'll get a good idea what it's all about. But I know for myself, I practiced a lot before I ran my first event. And I will tell you without a question, the first events I ran were not the best events I ever ran. So I learned from those events, and I took time after those events to really reflect on how it went and what I needed to do to get it to run better. What I needed to do in terms of keystrokes, what I needed to do in terms of technology, and what I needed to do in terms of working with the learners. So I gave myself a fair bit of time to look at how I did those first few times. So a lot of practice before you go on your first time. And I would guess I'll use I'll use an interesting word, some compassion for yourself. You don't need to judge yourself harshly if things don't go perfectly on the first event. Highly likely they won't go perfectly on the first event. I remember the first time I ran this publicly for a commercial group, I told them in advance. I said, I got to tell you, I'm really nervous. It's the first time I've ever done this. Some people won't do that, but I find it's really helpful to tell students we might find some places where I don't do this perfectly. I think that's fine. We are in the game. We are supposedly celebrating error. We're supposedly saying error is the time when we can make correction and learn. Well, you can do. There is a reflexive quality about that. That your error as a trainer is also the time when you can learn. So don't ask yourself to be perfect right out of the gate. You won't be, and you'll just cause yourself a lot of discomfort. Error is good. Enjoy it, laugh about it, say, wow, that's interesting. I think I led you down the entire wrong path. Celebrate error and model that attitude of openness and acceptance of error. And the next step, which is I accept the error and I'm going to now inquire. I wonder why that happened. I'm going to get curious about why that error happened and what I might try the next time to prevent it. And I'll even demonstrate that process to students as I go. So not only are you asking them to detect and correct error, but you're actually modeling the detection and correction of error in front of them to show them that you're quite comfortable with it yourself. And finally, have some fun. It is a wonderful event to run. It's a wonderful event to engage in with your students, and you can really have a great deal of fun, and I would even say joy as you run this event. Watch them, work with them, inquire with them, and learn, most of all, to get your greatest satisfaction and enjoyment from watching them become independent. In other words, not needing you. And that's the point when you know I've really succeeded. So good luck, and thanks very much.